in preschool or kindergarten or whatever, you said 1 plus 1 equals 2. But what are numbers? What are they? I'm David. I'm a discrete mathematics and economics double major. I didn't know what discrete math was for a long time. If you look it up on Wikipedia, it says it's the study of mathematical structures that are discrete. So that is not really helpful. But basically, discrete math is the study of things that are countable. It's more quantitative and computational, and it's the mathematical foundation of computer science. And I like computer science, but discrete math can lead to other things. It's broader than computer science, so I chose that. So a few months after I got to campus, when I was a freshman, I was able to get a research assistant position for one of the professors in the economics department. And I don't think that I would have gotten the chance to sort of try out a potential life path, and gain that sort of experience if I had come to Tech. I plan to get a PhD. I don't know in what yet, but after that, I'm planning to do anything from quantitative public policy research, doing financial modeling, but we'll see. So when I was in high school, all of my efforts and sort of focus was on getting into a college. And now that I'm in a college, I have the perspective to realize how narrow that how narrow the scope of high school is. So I guess when you're in high school, realize that college is not the finish line.
Hi, my name is Alexandra Hood. I'm a second-year computer science student from Atlanta, Georgia. I chose computer science because my dad was a computer science major at Virginia Tech, and he always had the latest technology and really instilled the value in me of wanting to learn how to be able to influence that innovation for myself. And I always was really good at math. I really liked math, but I didn't want to necessarily be doing calculations all day, which is why I didn't want to go into something that was like more purely engineering. And I just like computer science because there's like no limit to what we can do. Anything that we can't do is because it just hasn't been created yet, because we're not limited by any like physical factors like gravity or whatever. A lot of people talk about how Georgia Tech has more men than women, and obviously in computer science it's known for being a male-dominated field. And I don't think when people think of computer science majors, they necessarily think of all the glitteriness that comes with being a cheerleader. But I love that I'm able to be different, that I'm able to add a unique perspective to the classroom and be different from all of my peers, and just have something different to offer. I started a company my sophomore year of high school that provides uniforms for private schools in Atlanta. Many of the private schools in Atlanta use the same 2 uniform stores, so most of the school uniforms look very similar with the exception of the colors. So there was a new school that was opening in Decatur, and they asked me if I could create some designs for their uniforms because they really wanted something that would have advertising value and that would be very noticeable and differentiate them from the other private schools in the area. So they liked my designs, and I sourced manufacturers in China, got samples made, and now I supply all the uniforms for that school. In my first 18 months of business, I did $150,000 in sales, and I've been continuing to be successful ever since I started. For my career goals, I've really been inspired by my dad's story. When he graduated from college, he immediately started his own business, and he has never worked for anyone since. He's always been an entrepreneur, and I definitely see that for myself. I want to start my own company and create something that people will be using for generations to come. Georgia Tech has been the absolute best thing that has ever happened to me. I absolutely love everything about Georgia Tech. The people here are so intelligent, and the fact that I'm able to learn with and fellowship with and be friends with and go on spring break with all of these amazing people is absolutely crazy to me. There's just such great company, and the fact that I'm able to be a part of that is just stellar in my opinion. I'm also a Georgia Tech cheerleader, so I have a lot of pride for the institution. I love being able to wear my white and gold uniform on football game days and at basketball games, and being a Rambling Wreck from Georgia Tech I am able to say that with so much pride, and I just love this institution, all the resources that we have and all the connections and the networking. It's absolutely amazing, and I cannot imagine being anywhere else. My biggest piece of advice would be to do some research into whatever field you're interested in and think about what jobs would look like long term. Think about the different areas of research that you could get into, and really try to figure out if that's like what's right for you, and don't feel bad if you're a senior in high school and you don't exactly know what you want to do. I came into tech thinking that I wanted my concentrations to be one thing, and now there's something completely different, and that's totally fine. So just don't be afraid to change, but definitely do your research. There's a lot of resources out there, especially like if you want to learn to code. There's so many resources, and the earlier you get started, the better off you'll be.
Hi, my name is Kyle Woon. I'm from Decatur, Georgia, and I just recently graduated from Georgia Tech with a degree in computer science in December 2016. As a kid, I was always fascinated with electronics. I remember when I first got an iPod, and these were like tiny devices, but they were so expensive. I begged my parents to give me one, and I couldn't take it to school, but like I really just wanted to understand like how it worked and like what went into it, like the circuitry and all that stuff. And then when like the evolution of the cell phones and touchscreen came out, I was like, man, this stuff is really cool. So when I first entered Georgia Tech, I came in with the intention to study computer engineering, and I was computer engineering for 2 years. But then I realized that I could do so much more with software, and that was cooler, and that you can just pick it up on the fly and do it anywhere. And so I switched my major to computer science, and I just really like how you can have an idea and then just transform it into a tangible product. I just think that's like the coolest thing ever. And so that's why I switched my major to computer science, and I'm going to be working as a software engineer. Starting early February, I'm going to be working for a company called Twilio in San Francisco. It's a cloud communications company, and I'm going to be working as a software engineer. But long term, my goal is to become a technology entrepreneur, because I want to be able to work for myself and bring my own ideas to life and my own dreams to life instead of working on someone else's dream. And so I'm currently working on a business called Kemet, which is a social networking app where the goal is to connect members of Divine Nine Greek organizations. And I'm actually coding the app with another person. I would say my favorite class that I've taken at Georgia Tech was CS 1331, which is Intro to Object-Oriented Programming. And the reason that's my favorite class is because that's when like computer science really started to click for me. Coming into Georgia Tech, I didn't really have like coding experience. There's some kids out there that have been coding since the age of 7, and that's crazy, but I didn't really have that experience. So coming to CS 1331, that's when it really began to click for me, and I was like understanding, I'm like, okay, this is cool, and I realized that this is a career that I would like to pursue. Georgia Tech has definitely prepared me for what I like to say the real world. It's a tough school, but it's taught me how to become resilient, how to grind when you don't see a way out. When it doesn't appear that there's a way out, it shows you how to make a way out. And so Georgia Tech really has taught me that. And also, what's really valuable to me is the connections. The alumni network is huge. There's so many amazing Georgia Tech grads that are doing like amazing things, and also the access to the companies that we have. That's one thing that I feel like I took for granted until I was speaking with someone from other schools, and they don't have like these big companies coming to their career fairs and stuff like that. So I'm really thankful for the opportunity to have those connections through Georgia Tech. My biggest piece of advice for high school students is to just believe in yourself. I remember when I was a high school student applying to Georgia Tech, I was just thinking like, man, this is gonna be a really hard school, and I kind of doubted myself. I doubted myself, and I didn't think that I was able to do it. Looking back at it, like I conquered Georgia Tech. So my advice to y'all is just to believe in yourself, be confident, know that you're able to get into Georgia Tech, and once you're here for a reason.
My name is Brianna Brown, and I'm a fourth year industrial and systems engineering. I chose industrial engineering, one, because I'm indecisive, and industrial engineering allows you to do a lot of things, so I have a lot of passions, one of which is helping people. And industrial engineering kind of gives me the chance to apply my engineering geared mind, but also apply it in a field that allows me to help people, especially people that look like me. I want to use industrial engineering to work in the field of humanitarian logistics. So industrial engineering is the study of systems, of how things flow, and stuff like that. And so humanitarian logistics is, I want to work specifically with disaster relief, with like FEMA or the Red Cross, and make sure that aid is distributed in a way that doesn't leave out marginalized communities, especially people of color. So I think it's important to have someone who looks like us in a position of power in these places. So that's how I want to use my degree. I am also a professional dancer and co-founder and artistic director of Rain Dance Theater. So I manage two things as a balance. I have my industrial engineering, but I also have my artistic side of dance. But they inform each other in different ways, and they allow me to excel in those fields. Georgia Tech helps me so much. As far as industrial engineering, the Department of Industrial Engineering and my mentor, they're just so helpful, and they really help me realize that I can do whatever I want with my degree and not be limited to just go into manufacturing or just go into consulting. If I want to use my degree to work to help people, then I can do that, and that's possible. And then as far as my more artsy side goes with dance, Georgia Tech has really, really been super helpful, especially the arts director, Madison Carrier. She's working with me to help our company put on a production in the fall, which is the premiere of our company is happening at the first. And also working with the Industrial Design School on campus in one of their junior-senior classes to prototype the set that's actually going to be built for our show. So all of the offices in Georgia Tech have been very, very helpful with supporting that aspect of my dream. And just like pretty much anything I come to the table with, they're like, yeah, let's make it happen. Let's work to make that. So I do a lot of community service and a lot of social justice work. So it took me a while to figure out what connected industrial engineering and dance for me, but I think it's really the human connection that I want to get out of both. So like I said, I don't want to work in a manufacturing field for industrial engineering necessarily. I want to do more disaster relief, and so that comes from a place of wanting to help people. And the same thing with my dancing. I think it's very important to say something with dance and with art, and it's the responsibility of artists to reflect the times and start to promote social change. And so in that way, the way they're related and inform each other, they allow me both to follow my passion, which is helping people and also promoting social justice and being the catalyst for those conversations that we need to have. I'm actually in my favorite class right now. It is awesome. It's the trap music and outcast class. And this maybe is the first time that Georgia Tech has really done a good job of synthesizing like what I love to do, which is like bring engineering and the arts together and figure out how they can interact in a way that's not conventional. So it's not like I'm gonna build a robot that makes music. Like that's cool, but that's not the goal. The goal is to figure out like how at the baseline, at least for me, the goal is to figure out how at the baseline like they both come from a sense of humanity. And so like how can we use our engineering and like sound engineering and trap music and all that to inform us about social justice issues and like connect to people in a way that sometimes Georgia Tech classes don't let you do. So that's my favorite. Don't stress yourself out. Everything's gonna be fine. Also, don't let people tell you that you can't do something. If you want to do it, you can make it happen. Everyone thought I wouldn't be able to dance professionally and go to engineering school, but I'm co-founder and artistic director of a company, and I dance for 2 professional companies in Atlanta, and I'm going to A-League to train after this. So anything is possible. Just stay strong.
My name is Xavier Galloway. I am a 5th year graduating senior in May, computer science major. I'm from Norcross, Georgia, which is Gwinnett County. That's where I graduated high school, and originally from Queens, New York. Back in 7th grade, actually, my parents put me into a camp with the library called Camp Savvy. It was like it was pretty much just a technology camp. And in there we learned, how to be, tech savvy in today's world. And one of the things that we did in the camp was HTML, so like web dev. And I was in 7th grade. I was like 12 years old, and so being able to mess around with websites at that young an age, I thought that was pretty cool. And then I remember my interest for that grew the summer before my senior year of high school. I had my first ever internship, which was also my first ever job. First time I was ever getting paid was in corporate America with careerbuilder.com. And I just saw a lot of what goes on in the corporate life, what goes on with, just engineering and building for customers and building for people who are, using those products. So I thought that was pretty cool. I thought it was interesting. And another thing, I've always been interested in breaking things apart and putting it back together. So Georgia Tech has definitely helped me come in terms with myself as a leader. I've been involved with GTSB as a TCOM chair. I've been, a mentor on campus, SGA, and recently, leadership positions with my fraternity. So I definitely feel like I've developed into a leader. I've developed into a more well-rounded individual. Before I was just wanting to focus on a lot of my passions and my hobbies. Now I can, can definitely say, my interest in technology is something that I would want to pursue. My biggest hobby or my biggest involvement outside of leadership stuff in school is definitely my music. And I would say my music relates to my major because, everything is running on technology. It takes technology to, really produce and make the music that we all listen to today. So, whether that's coming from, the hardware your music is using, microphones or keyboards, and then, the software that you're using as well for making the beats, for recording. I would say my favorite class is actually a class that I'm taking now. It's my mobile and ubiquitous computing class, and I would say that mainly because I've always been interested in mobile technologies. We're actually learning about wearables, and they're going to make wearables. That's pretty cool. My project is actually, helping augment, speech to text into, having a computer spit back actual responses for deaf people to, understand. So it's a pretty cool project. I would definitely say follow your passion. If you have a dream, protect it, go after it. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do what it is that you want to do. I find myself telling me this all the time, and even a lot of my friends. Definitely just follow your passion. There's gonna be a lot of people who say no or who doubt you, but if you believe in yourself, that's all it is. So I wrote my first song when I was 6 years old. It was a love song, and I don't think I felt love that early, but I liked R. Kelly a lot. He was actually my first inspiration, my first favorite artist. My parents just played him all the time. When I got my first CD player, I was playing all this old stuff. So his topics on love really, I guess, turned me into a sap at a very young age. So at 6, 7 years old, I was writing my first love song.
Motivation. Yeah, this song here, it's called Motivation. GTSB heard it first. By the time this video dropped, the song would have dropped. It's just a little sneak peek of the hook. Look, I recorded my first record out the crib, yo. A sentence diary is still a hit, yo. Okay, now all I really want is a yacht. I won't stop until I hit the top. That's my motivation. When the DJ play my song, he got the club banging. Yeah, I am not just talk, don't need no conversation. This my motivation. Yeah, that's just the hook.